Evening and welcome to our concert. I'm Jack Young. I direct orchestras here at Hudson High School. And in front of you is our varsity orchestra. And that's my daughter. Hi, Evelyn. I hear you. Anyway, so the varsity orchestra is performing a piece called Syncopations. And this piece is challenging in a number of ways. Number one, it's in 5/4 time, which is a really odd time signature for groups to play in. And it's also because of that meter, but how it's written, there's a lot of syncopation in the rhythm. There are other reasons why it's called syncopations, which they'll be discovering in the very near future. Final exam. And so it'll be really interesting to delve into that over the next couple days and talk about that. The piece is written in what's called a rondo form. And if I could just get, I didn't tell him I was going to do this, but could you play section A? You know, the A theme, section A, where it starts, kind of ready to be allegro non troppo. Okay? Ready? Yeah. So that right there was the A theme. So a rondo form means that it starts with A, goes to a theme B, comes back to A, goes to a theme C, comes back to A, so on and so forth. So you keep hearing that theme come back. And it's just really interesting how this whole piece is put together. So here is Syncopations. Since it is our last concert of the year, there are always awards and acknowledgments which need to happen. So, for people in the varsity orchestra, when I say something that you were involved with, what I would like you to do is just simply stand right in your place. So, if you were a member of this year's first, we did a chamber orchestra for the first time this year. If you were a member of chamber orchestra, stand up. And actually, I should add, let's save applause until the very end. And then, if you played your string instrument in one of the jazz bands this year, stand up. If you were a member of the marching band, pit, or color guard because you decided to do something beyond orchestra and be part of another ensemble in that regard, please stand up. Or if you were a marching band anyway, please stand up. Go ahead and stand up. All right. If you performed at district solo ensemble, please stand. If you performed at state solo ensemble, please stand. If you were a runner-up for exemplary soloist at state, please stand. Cool. And then, yeah, exactly. So then in your programs, you also note who earned their varsity letters, and those people earned 60 points doing various activities, playing in the community, participating in orchestra events throughout the school year, so that's how they earn that. I think Mr. Dolly has something for me. So every year in the ensembles, the peers of the ensemble vote for outstanding freshman, outstanding sophomore, and outstanding junior. Obviously, this being the varsity orchestra, they have voted for outstanding freshman. And the outstanding freshman, sophomore, junior award is something that these people exemplify what the orchestra is. They are involved in the community. They go the extra mile to be part of things. They go above and beyond, basically, and just pretty much always have a positive attitude and want to do more and more. So this year's Hudson High School Orchestra Outstanding Freshman, voted on by their peers, is Tyler Warwick. Come on up. They aren't leaving, they're going to go grab their band instruments. So our next piece is Festique, and this is a concert piece written for full orchestra. This is our second full orchestra piece of the school year, and it's been a lot of fun to put together with members of the varsity band. So as soon as these folks are set, we will tune one more time and rock and roll. Looks like we're about ready to begin here. So, the Brandenburg Concerto, this is the first of 6 concertos that Bach wrote around the year 1715. And the couple interesting things about the Brandenburg Concertos is that each one was kind of set the new standard, both for instrumentation and size of orchestra and compositional style for the Baroque era. This particular, the first Brandenburg Concerto was originally written for 2 natural horns, 3 oboes, bassoons, 3 violins, violoncello, and bass continuo, which would have been harpsichord and bass kind of put together. Our arrangement condenses all of that into 4 violin parts, 2 viola parts, cello, and bass. One other interesting thing is, oftentimes when you have multiple parts sequentially, like first violin, second violin, and so forth, the second, third, fourth, those parts get easier and easier. That's not the case with Bach. Each part is in itself just as difficult. So you notice that we have freshmen playing with seniors on this piece, and that should tell you something not only about our freshmen, but about every single student in this group. They just have worked their butts off to learn a fairly difficult piece that is fairly challenging to keep together. And as soon as we have everybody good to go here, we will rock and roll with Brandenburg. And I know you're not ready. And we're using what's called a Baroque bow hold for this. So you'll notice people holding their bows a little higher up on the bow. That's because, there you go, you see some students holding it up. The reason for that is in the Baroque time period, the bows were actually inverted from what they currently are. And so it did not have the same sound as it does these days. So that's why they're doing that, to emulate and to replicate that sound. Are we short on stands, chairs, both? What do we need? Space? Do you have enough space to play? Okay, if you need to, you can back up just a little bit. 3rd row, 4th row, you can back up just a little bit if you need to. Yeah, we'll tune one more time. The humidity changes in the last week are wreaking havoc with our instruments. That's why we're tuning so often. Go ahead. Alrighty, so we're getting ready for our final piece of the evening, which is the final movement of Dvorak New World Symphony. Before we do that, we do have some acknowledgments and awards for this orchestra. And in front of you is the concert orchestra, sophomores through seniors. And similarly, we had members from this group in the chamber orchestra. So if you were a member of this year's chamber orchestra, please stand. If you, thank you, yep, sure, we'll applaud at the end. Okay, if you played your stringed instrument in a jazz band this year, stand or raise your hand. Excellent job, well done. If you were a member of the marching band pit or color guard as an orchestra member from this group, excellent, well done. If you performed at district solo and ensemble this year, stand. All right, if you performed at state solo ensemble, stand. If you were a 3-year running exemplary soloist on piano, Erica Gunther, please come forward. So we received this in the mail from WSMA, which runs the District Solo Ensemble, State Solo Ensemble. It says, Dear Erica, congratulations, you have been chosen to receive the Exemplary State Soloist Certificate Award. It is a pleasure to enclose a special certificate recognizing your achievement in musical excellence. They don't even play percussion. Let's see here. Okay, in musical excellence for your piano performance at WSMA State Solo Ensemble held at UW Eau Claire. Please accept our warmest congratulations on your efforts and our very best wishes for continued success in your musical and personal endeavors. Tim Scheid, Executive Director, and there you go, congratulations. Alrighty, continuing. In the program, you'll see who earned their varsity letters. If you performed as a member of a state honors band, choir, or orchestra this past year, please either raise your hand or stand. If you auditioned for and will be a member of state honors band, choir, or orchestra this coming school year, please stand or raise your hand. Excellent. And next I would like our seniors to rise. In front of you, you will see Caitlin Asmus, Michaela Grund, Erica Gunther, Sarah Jorgensen, Katie Musselman, Lauren Peterson, who is unable to be here tonight, Catherine Shomas, Casey, Christopher Van Someren, Claire Van Valkenburg, Ashley Vidadich, and Nick Zumwalde. I personally would like to thank all of these students for their time, their energy. They put up with me for 9 years, which is a long time to put up with me. Trust me, ask my wife. But it has been an awesome, awesome time watching you all grow up, become young adults, and I'm just so ecstatically happy and excited for all of you. So thank you for your time. I was going to cry, but it happened. Okay. Okay, and then we have some other awards to give out. Mr. Dowley is arriving. Okay, so our first award is our Outstanding Sophomore Award, exemplifying the attitudes of the orchestra for sophomore. And this year's recipient is Jack Henry Linus. Our outstanding junior this year, wrong side, like I'd forget, is Miles Saboka. All right, Now, there are 2 senior awards that go out. One is the Director's Award for Orchestra, and that is somebody who I choose that has just been great leadership, positive attitude, all of the above, just always going the extra mile. And for the first time, I had to go with 2 students. Now, I must apologize right now because I forgot to print out the certificates today, so I apologize. I will get them to you tomorrow, I promise. But you will get the certificates. And then there was a snafu with the company. This one was not my fault. And the plaques aren't here, so I apologize for that as well. So, Director's Award for Orchestra, again, going to 2 students for the first time this year, is Caitlin Asmus and Christopher Van Someren. And then finally, our top senior award, the National School Orchestra Award. This person has been a great leader and just an all-around great person, and I'm gonna miss her. So this is Claire Van Valkenburg. Moving on. Okay, moving on. We're playing New World Symphony, which is commonly thought of as being the New World Symphony, but technically it's titled From the New World. Dvorak actually got a little bit testy with a few people. No, I wrote it from the New World. It's not the New World Symphony. But anyway, he wrote it during the summer of 1893 when his family lived in Spillville, Iowa. And it's one of classical music's most famous works. Now, one interesting thing about this symphony is sometimes you'll see it labeled as... Okay.
Okay, so every year we try to make Mr. Young cry, the seniors. So this is going to be our attempt this year, guys. He said to keep it short as you can, so I'm sorry I wrote a speech. I didn't mean it. Yeah, okay.
You've dealt with me and Claire's shenanigans for like the last 9 years, and anyone who can put up with that can totally lead this orchestra, and you've shown that for the last 9 years, and it's been an awesome 9 years. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Mr. Young for his dedication to this group. He does not get enough recognition for all he does, and I hope he realizes that he has influenced us greatly, and he has grown to be more of a friend than a teacher. Thank you.
I'm probably going to start crying up here, but this orchestra just means so much to me, and a lot of it is, I wouldn't be who I am without this, so thank you.
Okay, so no one told me that we're saying anything. But I just want to say that Miss Young has taught some of us for half of our lives, which is something like no other teacher really in the building could ever say. And so I think that that's pretty special.
I just want to say thanks for being the best teacher ever.
Really tall. I'll just talk. I didn't really plan anything to say, but I never am at a loss of things to say because I talk a lot. Mr. Young, I say this in the most endearing way possible. He's the biggest dork I know, and I really, really appreciate that. And he's been a lot more than a teacher. He's a life mentor, and he's like an uncle to us. And I just want to thank you for inviting us into music and into your life and everything. It's been really special. This is my
first year here, and I was amazed by this orchestra, by what Mr. Young has done with it. These people are really amazing. They're so, I don't know, they just all like click together. We're just like one huge happy family, and it's really great. And Mr. Young's a huge part of that, so I was glad to be a part of it.
Okay, I wrote a letter to myself 10 years ago, or before I started orchestra. So this would be what I would say to myself. Orchestra may not seem like might not seem like much right now. However, I promise it will grow. In fact, someday you will be part of the select group of viola players that started from the beginning of the program. You and your fellow violas will make up 5 of the 12 seniors graduating from the orchestra. That's right. Thanks to your conductor, Mr. Young, your passion for music will increase, the program will at least quadruple in size, and your knowledge will expand like a balloon. But not everything will be peachy keen. There will be hardships. You will learn that no, the rosin does not go on the strings. You will learn that yes, you will have to wait until Mr. Young is done cooking all the pancakes before you help yourself. You will learn that Mr. Young and his wife are having a child, and you will learn that the baby will replace the orchestra in Mr. Young's list of favorite things. You will learn that giving Mr. Young a hug when he is sad is a good idea, and giving him one when he's angry is not. You will learn how to write an entire page about the few measures you remembered from that concert you went to just to write the entire page about. You will learn that playing in the back of the orchestra is 1,000,000 times more difficult than playing in the front, although the front you'll be given a daily shower of saliva from Mr. Young himself. So they pretty much even out. You will have to look up the word nuance and then apply it to practically every piece you play thereafter. You'll eventually learn that hot cross buns is not the coolest piece you can play, but keep practicing. You'll figure out that breaking a bow hair doesn't mean Mr. Young is going to yell at you. It's fine, I promise. But most importantly, you will learn that orchestra with Mr. Young is the most critical class of all of your primary education. Not only will it take up 9 years of your life, but your conductor will shape you to be a better leader, a strong and independent person, and an empathetic soul. He will teach you to smile when you're sad, to push yourself past what you think you can do, and to always make your mistakes big. Because when no one else is listening, Mr. Young will be there, even if it's just to tell you that your C is a little flat. Are you crying? And then we pooled our money and creativity together, and Erica will explain it.
Oh, gosh, okay. Stay there. We gotta figure it out. Okay, every time after our concerts, we have this thing called PCBs. That stands for post-concert breakfast. So, as our senior present, and that no one ever has to bring in pancake mix again, I bought a whole bag of pancake mix. Kudos to Costco, and a spatula, so you can flip them in style. I'd like to thank Mr. Young over the years for all the great advice. Don't eat the yellow snow, and make sure that you have that your bow's on right, and that you're not holding by the tip by the frog, and just all the little things that we've gone through and for dealing with us over all these years with our craziness before concerts and how excited we get. And I think there's one more thing. I can't remember. What is it? Oh.
Wait, what? I'm wearing an apron. I thought I lost it. I couldn't remember where I put it. We had this really cool. Oh, that's right. I couldn't remember. Right. Okay, so with the PCBs, he always wears an apron, and so we thought that we would make a special apron. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
And then just a little other thing.
It's framed.
Yeah, it's framed. Yeah, audience.
Thank you. forgot what I was telling you about Dvorak very quickly regarding the numbering of this symphony. Sometimes you'll see it is number 5, sometimes it's number 9. And the reason is over the years, sometimes composers feel like their earlier works are pieces of crap and they kind of destroy them and then they number them off of that. Well, Dvorak wasn't so careful, and so after he died, they actually were going through some stuff. They actually discovered that before what they originally thought was his first symphony, he had written 4 symphonies before that. So it actually turned out that he did 9, and so they still attribute this to being his last symphony. So originally it was 5, now it's 9 because of that numbering. Okay, so here we go, New World Symphony. Thank you again for coming tonight. Have a great evening. Thank you for your support of our program. We have a blast, and these kids are awesome, so thank you.